Next, in After Effects, we have offset paths. Okay, so what are offset paths? So let us understand first clearly. After understanding, we use the practical version, right? So in After Effects, offset paths is a shape layer operation that expands, contracts, or displays a shape's path. It is a non-destructive tool that creates a modified version of the original path, which can then have fills and strokes applied to it. So core functionality, what is the core functionality of this? The expansion and contraction by adjusting the amount property. What is this amount property? There is an option. You can make a closed shape larger, so that means in a positive value, or smaller, the negative value. The next one is stroke position control. There is a stroke position control is there. The primary use for offset path is to gain precise control or where a stroke is placed relative to the path. By default, a stroke is centered on the path. Generally, it is center of the path. Using offset paths, you can force the entire stroke to the inside or outside of the path. Okay, which is useful for maintaining a consistent look when animating size changes. Then creating copies and patterns, right? You can add more copies and patterns. The copies and copy patterns offset properties allows you to create multiple evenly spaced concentric duplicates of the original shape. Animating these properties can generate complex dynamic patterns, geometric textures, or kaleidoscopic effects. The animation, most of the offset paths properties such as amount and copies offset can be keyframed over to create dynamic expanding, contracting, or moving effects. The key properties, there are amount, it is there, and controls the distance the new path is offset from the original. Line join is there, determining the appearance of the corners where path segments meet. The options are meter is there, round and bevel. So meter limit defines when a meter joins should switch to a bevel join if the point becomes too long, and copies specific the number of duplicated paths created, and copies offset adjust the displacement of all the copies simultaneously without changing the distance between them. Okay, so use cases where we use offset paths is a versatile tool used in a motion design for and logo reveals and character animations, and creating clean professional inner or outer strokes, generating intricate animated backgrounds and designs, crafting burst or explosion effects with the multiple expanding lines. So many things we do this with the offset paths. Okay, so let us check what are the things inside there. So create composition, new composition. Okay, this is my composition here. So here I am using ellipse tool. First let us take rectangle tool. This is my rectangle or a square, suppose this is a square. Okay, so when you click here, here in the shape layer here, okay, so at the contents here there is a rectangle. Okay, here the button is showing add, so you can add here. What we add is the offset paths, so click on that. See, offset path is added. Okay, suppose here if you observe the line width, it is showing 10 pixels. Okay, and suppose here it is the path, and here the offset path Suppose here it is showing offset path, the value is showing 10. If you increase this, now see it is increasing the amount, okay, and suppose decreasing this one, it is going inside. Suppose that is the actual path. If you click here, this is the 10 pixels path, and here it is going inside minus, and here it is coming outside. So it is going outside, okay. So you are changing your actual the path. And now see here we have meter join. Right now it is in, suppose make it a meter join. After this, the round join. Here if you observe here, it is making it is as a round corners, okay. And here it is a bevel join, it's a beveled one. So it depends on our requirement, we choose all these things. Keep this in a normal meter here, meter join, and here the meter limiter. Here it is in showing the meter limit is 4, okay. And suppose click here, I am adding one keyframe here, and suppose move this to 2 seconds. If I increase this, the meter limit, okay. So after this the line join, here we have meter limit, and suppose here the copies are there, okay. Here I am applying, so 1 is the keyframe added, and suppose here I am adding one more, the key pose. I am adding copies here, so up to here. Then you can animate this one. I am using space bar. Now see, it is what? Adding copies. So keep this work area up to here. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am adding the keyframes here, okay. Up to here, my work area should be there. Okay, now play this one. Now see here they added the copies. Now if you change this meter limit, so this is my meter limit. I am changing this meter limit to a 1. Now say it is creating from inside to outside, okay. So I'll keep this to here at the starting point. Yeah, here I'll keep. Now let us see this one. It is making a rounds, right? So meter limit is restricted to 1 only. I'll keep this to back. Meter limit are restricted to 1 only. Suppose I'll change this, the amount. Suppose this is the amount, so you can reduce or increase or decrease. Suppose see the gaps, the amount it is showing the gap between those lines. So, suppose let us keep here this is as a 50. Move this to here. Now play this one. Now see here it is, it's kind of revealing a logo. Yeah, now it is start with the 0 value. Now it is creating the beautiful logo revealing. Suppose this is kind of logo, then it is so revealing from 0 to here. Okay, and if you want this meter join, you can change this to a round. Let us see this one now. The bevel join, it is creating a bevel. Okay, then suppose copy the offset value. Here I added 1, and this side here I am adding the copy offset value is suppose 10. Now play this one. Now see this is, it is increasing, right? Come back here. Here I am giving minus value, so that this will start from there. Now play this one. And here we have to experiment with the values. Yeah, up to here. So this is gone, went out. Now play this one. Now make this point bit closer. Yes, now play this one. Okay, so these are the beautiful effects it's creating, right? And here we have the stroke. The stroke is there, and within the stroke here the dash value is there. So open this one, is already opened, and add the value here. Suppose here it is dash value showing it 10 default. You can increase or decrease this one. Okay, so suppose here right now the value here it is showing 0. Now play this one. Zero. Now see, this is beautifully it is revealing. This is nice, right? Now I am giving the value, the offset value is 0 here. The other side here, so I am giving 20, right? Let us see this one. Now see, the value is, when you add the value, it is increasing, right? If you observe here, the gaps are increasing. Next, there is a taper value. The taper value, the start length, I am using 0 here, and suppose here this end point I am giving some value. Okay. Now see this one. When you increase or decrease the value, what it is showing, see the edges here. Now add the end length. Suppose at the end length it is 0 here, and suppose here I am using end length this much. Now play this one, right? And the same way here, start width, you can use the start width, and here I am using here I am adding some value here. So if you observe here, see what is happening actually. The value, by adding this value, it is increasing and decreasing. So up to this much only. Now see this is. So these are all the values, right? And this is the end width, and suppose here this is my end width other value. Now see this is. Now play this one. Now there is a start is and end is. This is start is, and here this is my start is end. Now see, when you change this the values, it is also going to change, and end is again the 0 here, and the second preframe here I am using this much. Now see here the when you add the values, these are changing, right? So done. And here we have the wave amount at 0 here, and here I am adding some amount here. Now see this is, now see the amount is very higher here, so make it less, yeah, because it is slowly moving, because the more value if you give, it is slowing your process. Okay. Now come to wave length. Here it is, the length is 100%. Let us change this to the small amount, of course 0 here, and I will change this to something like, right. Now play this one. And you can use the face also here. What all these things? So these are all about offset paths.